I'm Anthony Wright, and I'm your co-host with a living conversation with
Yeah, I'm Adam Dietz.
Adam Dietz. And Adam, before the break, you were talking about the utility and the place for low effort thinking. Um, can you say some more about that? And you also, yeah, say some more about that, and then let's talk about Zhuangzi, because I want to reflect about um, what a family member mentioned to me about how they thought that uh, my degree in philosophy was worthless and useless.
Right,
That's
right.
a Chuang's idea, but
Yeah. As far as low effort thinking goes, when I first heard this term and it stuck with me based on like a psychological study about trends of who had certain types of who had certain types of predispositions to vote a certain way. And without getting too political, the
right.
studies showed that certain people vote a certain way. And the one thing they found was that they all fell into a trap of low effort thinking. So I think what happens then is that manipulators are able to manipulate. If you're not thinking with any
Right.
effort, then you'll be
Yep.
manipulated. And I teach my students when we learn the crunchy critical thinking that yes, you do learn how to be reasonable, but that's natural. We're all born with a BS meter. We all know when someone's full of it. We don't want to be around them. And I ask them in class, isn't it more common that you are speaking to reasonable people? All the time we're being reasonable. And what stands out is when someone's being unreasonable. When someone's then your BS meter goes up and you don't want to be around them. So we all have that. It's not always like we have to make this great effort. It's natural. It's natural. But we have to cultivate it. We have to refine it. So in Western culture, we need to learn critical thinking. Our society is based off it. Journalism, government is all based off of Greco-Roman type of vibes.
But I would also invite you to consider or that everyone has natural curiosity as little children, and
Yeah,
actually to cultivate that
yeah,
and not to overlay it by saying, oh, you have to think this way or this is true or not true, you know.
yeah.
But
For Confucius, the first step important in helping the country, investigate things. For Socrates, examination is what makes life worth living. The unexamined life is not worth living. So of course, this naturally we want to be curious. We need
right.
to investigate. The more we learn, the more we investigate, the more rich our life is, the more refined we can be, the better we can be, the more helpful we can be. So to put these things aside is a detriment. But we also, the point I was just finishing was that
Sure.
you first, in order to really come to the seat at the grown-ups table, like we talked about before, you
Oh,
need to
yeah.
refine your thinking to be able to go into the debate, right? To be able to say, okay, this is this person's premise, this is their conclusion, is it reasonable? But when you learn this and practice it, it doesn't take so much effort. That the more you practice it,
Oh,
the more you create space in your own mind, the more you really do it over and over again, then it becomes second nature. Then you can actually be reasonable in your relationships. You can be reasonable everywhere. Even the most subtle thing, your own thought coming across your mind. I'm having this emotion. Is it reasonable? Oh, it's not. Okay, I can let it go. Oh, it is reasonable. Okay, maybe I should feel that emotion more and really fully feel it.
are
So
you sure you wouldn't want some fear? You could be wrong if you had fear.
Oh, well, okay, if there's a lion in the jungle next to me, then I need lots of fear. It's
Right,
reasonable.
right.
But if someone from afar is shouting that I should be fearful of my neighbor for no reason,
Yep,
then that's not reasonable. That's
yep.
also not Christ-like if you want to talk about Christianity and Bible. You should love thy neighbor as you love yourself.
Love every stranger because we've all been strangers at one time or another.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's talk about Zhuangzi. Um, and in my listening to Alan Watts, he was saying that Zhuangzi is one of the primary humorists in all of philosophy, even Western philosophy.
A rascal.
And this idea of in Jewish theology of Yetzer Hara and Yetzer Hatov. And in, the Yetzer Hara is the element of irreducible rascality or self-interest, and Yetzer Hatov is like, the angel on one shoulder and Yetzer Hara, the devil on the other. And someone who is too pious, who doesn't show even the slightest shred of self-interest, you ought to be wary of them. But too much is out of balance. But yeah, the rascality. How was Chuang-Tzu a rascal?
Well, he like loved to flip everything on its head.
Right,
You know, like you're talking if someone's always stuck in logic, because we were just talking about critical thinking.
right,
It's
right.
logic. The Greeks wanted to have everything delineated. They wanted to have everything spelled out. They wanted to have this system. But as we talked about many times, in order to cultivate to the highest level, you have to get rid of all of that. So Chuang-Tzu
Yeah.
said, he was like in a lot of ways the first Zen master because Zen master would do any means to kind of slap you out of what you're thinking so your mind could be totally free, and in that moment you could have enlightenment.
Oh, right,
Chuang-Tzu would tell all kinds of crazy stories to break out of your logical mind. And when
right,
you put aside your logical mind, you're totally free all of a sudden. Your true self can come out.
right.
Actually, this true self is the self has an origin in the beginning of time and space. Like Carl Sagan, we're all stardust. When you actually see your true self, you're seeing your heaven origin. And when you see your heaven origin, you can understand the nature of all things because all things are stardust. So when you break out of this logical mind, when you see your true self, you see the true self of all things. And for Chuang-Tzu, then you can have a free and easy roam of spiritual freedom. You can meet everything's true self. Oh, hello, true self. I have a true self too. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and as I said to my evangelical acquaintance, if you can think of it, it's too small. To put it into a thought box reduces to a representation. It's not reality anymore. It's
Very,
not true self.
very Zen.
So, and I can't remember at the moment, maybe it was Huining. Alan Watts was talking about when a student asks a question about a physical matter or about a philosophical matter, what's the nature of Buddhism? Oh, the olive tree in the yard. Uh, and then when you ask a question about a physical matter, uh, give me uh, the tree cutting knife. Uh, and what would you do with the knife? You know,
Yeah. The
you
knife
take
is
things
Buddha.
out of the context, the normal context,
Yeah.
which I hope we're able to do with this show,
Yeah.
actually.
This is Hui Ning. This is Hui Ning. When someone asks you something very low, you answer very high. When someone asks you something very high, you answer low. So if you ask me, what is metaphysical Buddha nature? You say, this table.
Right.
You say, oh, why am I not able to cut down this tree over here? Uh, tree is Buddha. So, yeah, yeah.
Another thing that comes to mind with Chuang-Tzu, isn't there a story of the two guys on the bridge that are arguing about whether the fish in the water below the bridge is happy or not?
Oh, maybe that's confusion. I don't remember, but I do remember the story. The
Oh,
story to me, you
the
you can
story.
tell me the details, but what I remember is they basically say, just look at it, right? I don't remind me of the story because what I remember is the fish in the water happy, and then
Exactly.
right?
Right. And uh, again, but does that have some parallel about the two monks arguing about the flag? Is the wind waving?
This is Hui Nang too.
Flag waving? No, it's mind waving, and mind as in Xing, which is heart mind.
True self too.
Yep, 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 yep. So,
So yeah, that's also a Hui Nang story. Hui Nang was in exile. He arrives at a
and
so
who
Hui
was
Nang,
Huineng, by the way?
Hui Nang is the first patriarch of Zen Buddhism, considered the founder of Buddhism. So his life story is very interesting. We can maybe go into it in a different segment, a different time.
Yeah, let's do that next segment because we're coming close to the end here. We
Okay.
got
But for just for this,
about 3 minutes, but please.
okay. Yeah, just for this purpose, and then you wanted to talk about maybe okay, anyway, worthless philosophy.
All
But
right.
for this story, we just should know Huineng was the first patriarch of Zen Buddhism, obviously very enlightened. He's in exile for, we can talk about different time, but he arrives out of exile. He knows it's his time to show up. So he shows
Oh,
up at a monastery, and when he arrives at the front of the monastery, two monks are arguing. And they're arguing about in the distance of the monastery at the top, there's a flag that's waving.
right.
And they ask each other, I say the flag is moving. No, the wind is moving. Huineng arrives, hears this argument, and says, actually, is neither, is your mind.
Yep.
So when they hear this and the head abbot hears this, they say, oh, I heard long ago that a barbarian, we can talk about that, a barbarian became the most enlightened, let's say, highest patriarch of Zen Buddhism. And you must be that person because he hears this, it's your
Ah,
mind. And my interpretation is that Huineng has seen his true self. So when he looks at the flag, he knows that flag has true self. This is your true mind. The flag has true mind. This is your heavenly nature. The flag has a heavenly nature. We are all stardust. The flag is also stardust.
so let's talk a bit about this idea of being useless and worthless. There's a story about a gnarled old tree that woodcutters came upon, and because the trunk was all gnarly and stuff, and there wasn't anything straight, and the actual wood itself was kind of pithy, they just left it alone. So it got really big. So being useless and worthless is not a bad thing.
You could grow.
Right.
You could
Right.
fulfill your
So
true
for
nature
people to
here.
say philosophy is useless or it's a luxury, oh, that's an interesting way to talk about
But
it.
it has a great use.
Pardon me?
It has a great use
Yeah.
beyond the mundane
Right.
sight.
Right.
Great use to bring life to this world. Mm.
Right. 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 So let's bring life to our show. We're talking on the Living Conversation here. I'm Anthony Wright, and you can contact me through my website, theonaut, theonaut.com. And we're talking with my guest, or my
Yeah, I'm
not
Adam.
my guest, my co-host. I'm
Right,
sorry,
right.
man.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I feel like I should be your guest because you have established all of this wonderful opportunity. But yeah, please, if you want to contact me or reach out, the best way where everything of my work is centered is at on Substack. You could search the way between, or it's just the way between dot com.
Okay.
And yeah, I'd love to hear from everyone, man. The more we can get in this conversation, the more context we have, the more ways we can see that life shows up.
Yeah,
And
because we want to know what's going on for you and to be able to bring ideas of Chinese philosophy and Indian philosophy to these problems that seem kind of hard to deal with Western thinking only.
yeah, we want to know more and more because so just click those buttons, get in there, figure out how to talk to us. You know, also contact me at deetsadam@gmail.com with your questions. We want to be able to start having more and more of a conversation as we grow this and maybe read your stuff on air and get going like that. It'd be awesome.
And it's DIETZ
Yes, thank you.
Adam.com at Gmail.
DIEAdam@gmail.com.
Okay, great. All right, we'll take a short break and be right back. Stay tuned.